Got him. Big one. Sit down fish. Oh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Made a change. Don't come off fish. Got one on my first stop here. Oh, he's got one hook in him. Oh, there we go. Not a graceful landing, but that is number one right there. Got that fish on a crankbait on a little offshore rocky patch. I tried offshore for a while, guys, really deep in that 15 to 25 foot of water range, and it just wasn't happening. So I wanted to check some shallow offshore rocky points, throwing the Megabass Deep X 200 LBO off some of these offshore rocky points that are shallow that have some bait fish around them. And literally the first stop I pulled up on, caught one. I know 10 or 12 more spots like this around this area too, so we should be able to put some fish in the boat. Let's get on the scales real quick. 1 pound, 13 ounces. Not a big one, just a little keeper, but got to start somewhere. Nice little fish. Let's get him back in the lake, get this fish locked in, and hopefully get a limit here pretty quick. Oh, there we go. Get this fish back down there. I'm actually using my 360 imaging I just got on the boat to see this point in front of me, and all I'm doing is taking this medium diving crankbait. This is the Megabass Deep X 200 LBO. I'm loving this crankbait. I picked a few up. It casts super well for a bait this size, and it dives really deep for, again, a bait this maybe only a couple inches long. It'll get down there in that 6 to 8 foot range, which is perfect for what I'm fishing right here. And all I have in front of me here, again, is just a shallow rocky point that sticks off the bank here. And this is probably closer to shallow water fishing than offshore fishing, but I still am casting off the bank, so I'll count it. And a lot of times when you're trying to catch fish offshore in the fall, you don't necessarily need to be way out in the middle of the lake. A lot of times there's fish that are setting up off the bank, maybe 15 to 30 yards. They're in that 5 to 8 foot of water on shallow rock, wood, stumps, and that's one of my favorite ways to catch them this time of year. Oh my gosh, look here on the live scope, guys. There's a bunch of fish right out in front of me here as well. Just out in front of the spot right where I hooked that fish. They are stacked up out here. I didn't graph this beforehand. A lot of times I don't like to graph these areas that are less than 10 foot of water before I fish them. And that's the nice thing about having both live scope and 360 imaging. I can really dial in my casts on these spots and know that the fish are up there before I even pull up on the spot. And definitely an advantage having both. Right now, I would say the 360 is probably the more useful of the two, just because I'm able to actually see where that spot is I'm casting at, but also having the live scope to let me know that there's actually fish down there is also pretty cool. Got him. There we go, through the Neko rig down there. Picked up another fish here. There we go. Don't know if that's a keeper or not. I don't think it is, but picked up another fish. Just a little non-keeper, but nice little deal. Got a second fish off the spot. There's a whole group of them down there. I think I might be able to pick up a handful of fish on this Neko rig, maybe put a few more on the boat. And here's what we're looking at, the 360. There's actually an old dock piling or a little pier in front of me, and then a rocky ridge that's sticking out. And I can see these fish on the live scope, and I can see the spot in front of me on 360, which is pretty sweet. I'm able to kind of really dial in my cast, and even though I'm only fishing in 7 to 8 foot of water, I'm still able to really pinpoint my cast on these fish. Got him. There we go. Got it as it was coming up. This is a good one. That's what I'm talking about. Nice fish. Oh, there we go. When in doubt, football jig out. That's what I'm talking about. Fish the moment, offshore jig right there. If you can't catch them offshore, guys, just pick up a football jig, find fish that'll eat it. You're always gonna catch some good ones. Found these fish off the end of a point here, and I was trying to relocate some fish in a different section of the lake. The area where I started, those fish just didn't seem very aggressive, very active offshore. And so I switched over, and the first spot I graphed, I found some fish, pulled out my trusty Fish at the Moment offshore jig, 5/8 ounce football jig. Got one in the boat, let's weigh it. Let's get some more fish, there's a bunch of them down there. 2 pounds, 6 ounces. Solid keeper right there. Lock that weight in. And there we go, 2 fish in the box for 4 pounds. Nothing crazy, but 2 pound average. And if I can add a 4 or 5 pounder to that, I might be in good shape, especially since we're only fishing for like 4.5, 5 hours a day. There we go, nice fish. Let's get back down the lake, get another fish here. That's what I'm talking about. Got him right off this point. It's really the most standard, basic, boring looking point you can find. It's a very rounded point, and I wasn't expecting that much off this point, honestly, but when I graphed over it, I saw several nice arches right on the break in that 20 foot of water range. Now, I wasn't able to get those fish dragging that jig, but actually as I was hopping it and reeling it up actually to reel it in, that fish ate it, which means that a lot of these fish might be suspended. I might actually be able to catch them on a flutter spoon or a few other baits as well. But I'm gonna hop this jig for right now, stroke it, and see if I can get a few fish hopping that jig up off the bottom like that, because that fish crushed it. If I can get 5 off this spot really quick, then I can go head hunting after this. Got him. There we go. Another one, another good one. I don't know how good it is. He's swimming right at me, so he feels, decent. There we go. Oh, came off as I was flipping him in. I don't know if that's a keeper or not. I'll have to throw that one on the measuring board. Nope, 13.5 incher. Not a keeper, but that's another fish off this spot. Back-to-back cast, which is a good deal. Probably a bunch of fish down there. Let's get back down there. That fish ate it as it was sitting on the bottom, not as I was hopping it. And so there just might be a good concentration of fish here. I got a bunch of baits to throw down there as well, but while they're eating this jig, I'm gonna keep throwing it. And then I have a lot of different things to throw down there if they stop eating this. So this could be a good spot right here. Oh, golly. Thump that thing. Man, it's so nice to have spot lock finally. I have a Minn Kota Ultrex trolling motor on here, 80-pound thrust, which is perfect for my 18-foot bass boat. And I'm able to spot lock as I'm fishing the spot, and I don't have to worry about drifting away with the wind. It's absolutely amazing. It's so nice, especially when I mess around with the cameras so much and talk to you guys. I'm always blown away from my spots, and so it's nice to be able to spot lock down and make this exact cast over and over again. It's gonna make me so much more efficient offshore. I mean, if you're offshore fishing, you need to get spot lock trolling motor. I've been neglecting to get it for about 2 years now, not because I didn't think I needed it, it's just because I just didn't get one. I don't know why, but I'm so happy to have it now. And I love the Ultrex. I've tried it for so many years now. It's a really sturdy, solid trolling motor. Doesn't seem to fail on me anytime I've ever used it in someone else's boat. And so definitely what I would get if I was in the market for a spot lock trolling motor. I had 2 fish peck this jig and not get it. So I'm gonna switch over to the Neko rig, throw that down there, see if I can pick up an extra fish off this spot. And guys, both my chest camera and the back camera were shut off. I was graphing for so long, I completely forgot about the cameras. Graphed another spot, just caught another keeper right here. It literally came up schooling too as I was changing camera batteries. Literally the worst time to stop and have to change out all my camera batteries, but that's okay. Let's this guy on the scales, get down there because there's a bunch of fish off this spot. 1 pound, 13 ounces, not a big one again, but another keeper. And man, I need to get back down there because they're going crazy. They're literally busting all around the boat. I need to put another camera battery, my other camera. Oh my gosh, this is a nightmare, but that's number 3. Oh man, caught that fish again on the Fish at the Moment offshore jig, just off this point. I graphed over this point, saw a bunch of fish down there. First cast up there, caught that fish, and literally they were schooling all over. The cameras are off, I can't believe it, but hopefully they're still up and firing. It took me like 45 seconds to get those cameras all put on. I put the fish in the live well while I was doing that. But man, that's crazy. I need to hopefully get a few more fish off this spot because there's a bunch down there. and we could finish out our limit at least. But man, there are probably 50 to 100 fish that came up schooling right in front of me, a giant school. Man, there he is, another one. They're down here off this spot right here. Sit down fish. Same exact spot. This is next cast. This is basically the same fish catch that you guys missed off the camera. Oh, whoa, spotted bass. Flip that guy in. Looks like a mean mouth actually. No, it's just a spot. Nice spotted bass. Get that fish on the scales. Another keeper. Just have to be 14 inches on grand, so 1 pound, 12 ounces. Pound 3/4 fish. That puts my total to, see here, 7 3/4 pounds. Not exactly lighting the world on fire, but right now I'll take it. Solid fish. Let's get another one and you get another trailer on here, and then hopefully keep putting them in the boat. Oh, there we go, guys. 2 keepers and 2 casts on the Fish the Moment offshore jig. Just fishing off of a main lake point that's about 15 to 20 foot of water on top. There's some chunk rock on top of these points, and there's bait fish all over it. I feel like these fish are actually using these main lake points as a staging ground before they start moving back into the bigger creek here. And there's bait fish, actually fish busting right over here as we speak. And the last spot I was fishing was very similar. Main lake point with some bait fish around it. Top of the point was in 15 to 20 foot of water. A lot of times on lakes like Grand Lake, if you can find a certain pattern that's working and catch fish one way, you can duplicate it around the lake. Now, it's not always easy to duplicate it. This actually took me about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes to find this spot. That's when my camera batteries were dead. When I stopped and fished here, I didn't even realize it. And a lot of times in the fall, you're gonna have to do more grafting than you will in the summer to find these fish, just because these fish are gonna be a little bit more grouped up and they're gonna be a little bit harder to find than they will be in the summer. And so definitely stay on your graph if you're trying to catch fish offshore, and if you spend enough time driving around, you can find some fish.
Really quick, I want to let you guys know about something really exciting we just added to fishthemoment.com. Just head over to our website and then go to the Lake Breakdowns page. Here you'll find our new and improved lake breakdowns, where we offer 40 GPS waypoints on lakes all across the country based on season of the year. We used to offer these breakdowns by giving you a lake map and putting circles on the map, but we thought that we could give you better recommendations by actually giving you precise GPS coordinates that you can download onto your Fishfinder and then take to the lake. These spots are picked out by professional angler Randy Blockett with over 30 years of tour level experience. We're actually going to be adding lakes every single week by season, so we're working on the fall lakes right now, then we're going to work on the winter lakes and the spring lakes, so on and so forth. We're going to be adding 4 or 5 lakes every single week, so make sure to check back on the website if your lake isn't available. And if you can't wait for us to post a new breakdown on the website, you can always sign up for a one-on-one virtual fishing lesson with me or Randy, where we'll break down your lake with you live using Navionics, Google Earth. We'll also record that lesson so you can watch it back as many times as you want. Now let's get back to the action.
Oh man, they're going crazy over there. Get my swim bait fish. Got him. There we go. I saw these fish all schooled up, busting, so I thought I could maybe throw a swim bait on them and get one of these fish to bite. And it worked out. First cast with the swim bait. Here we go. That's not a very healthy fish. I don't know if that's even a keeper, but got him on the swim bait as they were schooling. Let me see if this guy measures. Nope, not even a 14-incher, but you can see there's actually a bunch of shad down his gut. They are going crazy on these shad off this point. I need to pick up the swim bait, just throwing a Megabass spark shad on that body balance head. And when I saw those fish come up busting, fired it over there, and he choked it. I think I can kind of fire the swim bait around maybe and get a few bites. Just kind of fan casting this point. I got a couple fish on that football jig, and then right after I caught those fish, these fish really started busting and schooling. And I feel like I've kind of pulled them up off the bottom a little bit, so I might need to try a bait like this to get a few of these fish in the boat. See if I can catch one cranking. Got him. There we go. Got one on a deep diving crankbait. Wasn't really deep diving. I caught him like a third of the way down. lot of these fish are schooled up on top, so they're chasing. There we go. Got one on a deep diving crankbait. I don't think that's one's gonna measure. If he does, it's gonna be very, very close. Oh, there we go. Touching right there, 14-incher. So I'm talking about, that is number 5. Only fishing offshore for like 5 hours can always be tricky to get 5 in the boat. So I'm pretty happy that I did it so quickly. I actually still have a little bit extra time here, and I have 1 or 2 spots where I feel like I might be able to get a really good one in the boat if I push it. That's just a 1 pound 3 ounce fish. It's actually a 1 pound 7 ouncer. It seemed like it was off. It didn't seem like that was only a 1.25 pounds. It's a whole 1.5 pounds right there. Going to save that fish in the scale. See here. There we go. Got 9 pounds for 5 fish. Not exactly a bragging bag out here on Grand Lake. There's a lot bigger fish than that out here. But honestly, for not being on Grand for like 2 months and also fishing offshore in the fall, that's definitely not that bad. So, oh my gosh, another one is on there as I'm talking. That bait didn't even go down a foot. Apparently I found something they like. Not a big one, just a little guy. But maybe I can get a nice one, mix in with these smaller fish. Let's see. Again, maybe not the best bag in the world. Randy's probably gonna kick my tail with some bigger fish, but for right now, I'm happy with it. And I got 5, that's all that matters to me right now. Maybe I'll get lucky and put a 5 or 6 pounder in the boat, make things interesting. There we go. Oh my gosh, that's a freaking good one. On the Neko rig, what the heck? I saw that fish suspended on my live scope. Pitched the Neko rig over to him, and he ate it. Oh, it's a good one. Oh, there we go. Nice one on the Neko rig. Pitching to him on the live scope. That's what I'm talking about. Loving that live scope 360 imaging combo. Beautiful. Let's get this guy on the scales. My best fish of the day. Suspended on a Neko rig, just randomly pitching out in front of me. So I'm talking about 2 pounds, 12 ounces, 2 3/4 pounder. So I'm talking about, calls a 1.5 pounder. Beautiful fish. Puts me up to 10.5 pounds. That is what I'm talking about. Got him on the old Neko rig, baby. Oh, there we go, beautiful fish. Get him back down there. He is off. Let's get another fish on this Neko rig. This is just a black Yamamoto Kut Tail Worm. I've talked about this as a really good offshore bait in other videos. I'll link a video right here for you guys if you want to check it out. And all I was literally doing was using my live scope to look for fish that were swimming around out here off the drop. And I thought I might catch, you know, a little guy or whatever, but boom, caught almost a 3 pounder. So that might be a little deal I can take advantage of here off the spot. Let me take a look around here, scan around and see what else I can find.
That's it for my day on the water. I ended up with 5 bass that weighed 10.5 pounds. It was a pretty decent day for offshore fishing, and I actually was competing against Randy, who was fishing up shallow on the exact same day. If you want to see how he did, we're going to be making a video of his fishing day about how he approached the lake and how he caught some fish in a lot skinnier, shallower water than I was fishing. If you don't want to miss that video, make sure to subscribe to the Fish the Moment YouTube channel. Randy and I also made a recap video of our day on Grand Lake and compared the conditions we faced both offshore and shallow, as well as our strategy. It's a great video that gets into a little bit more of the strategic, high-level details of our fishing day, so make sure you check out that video. It's already on the channel, and I'll leave a link right here. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you all in the next one.